Hi, welcome to Elizabeth Gaskell's house. I'm the house director, Sally, and we've been hosting MACFEST for nearly 5 years now, and we're delighted to be a partner and hosting an event again this year. Elizabeth Gaskell's house is open to the public 3 days a week. We're the home of the Victorian writer Elizabeth Gaskell and her family. She's famous for writing books such as North and South, Cranford, The Life of Charlotte Bronte, and she lived in Manchester in this house for most of her married life. So today the workshop that we are hosting for MACFEST is about Turkish floral art, and it's run by Ashfia, and we've got people taking part in the workshop who are, it's very practical, and they get to get hands-on, and it's a great opportunity for them to come to the house. Most of them haven't visited before, and we're all very interested, and being part of MACFEST allows us to reach a new audience and to invite new people into the house and to hear their stories and for them to hear ours. Elizabeth Gaskell would have been very interested, and it is an inspirational building. She was a writer, Elizabeth Gaskell, and I think having artists in the building really cultivates that inspirational feel, and it's a great place to do it in.
Hi, I'm Qaisra Shahraz, and we love to welcome you to Gaskell House. This is one of the historic buildings in Manchester, and would you believe, the house of my favourite author, Elizabeth Gaskell. Probably most of you know I write books myself. I'm a novelist, and I loved this author. And when we had a chance to connect with partners, and guess what? The first place I thought of was Elizabeth Gaskell, and we've been hosted by them over the years, and we're really, really glad we are. What lovely surroundings to have them. In this video, you will see many different parts of this house, and I hope you enjoy it. We are hosting this year Turkish floral art with Ashfia Ashrif. Last year we had silk painting with Ashfia. The year before that we had batik painting from the Indonesian community, and the year before we had fantastic display of famous Muslim women from around the world. So delighted to be here again. Thank you.
I'll try and just take it on you guys' work, you know, like what your hands, if I can. Someone's wearing a nice gown as always. Very pretty. I like it. Selfie of me in the class. I'll do a selfie. Remember, you're using your cardboard, yeah, when you're doing your transfer, not the paper. The paper is just there for you to test your. Okay, so let's test this. That's a lovely colour. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you've already started. I was going to show you on your. But that's brilliant. No, that's great because
No
you know
time
what
to
you're
waste.
doing.
Just
But yeah. And I'm going to start taking out some gold for you. The paints are here, by the way, everybody. And with gouache, so I'll tell you a bit about gouache. Gouache is not like watercolour or any other paints like acrylic. It's nothing like acrylics, oils, or anything like that. You need a pea-sized amount, literally tiniest amount, because it goes a long way. And then what you do is you use the back of your brush. I'm going to show you. It's probably going to be easier. I'll show you on yours. To add water, gouache goes a long way, so you don't need too much of this. But you've got that painting, so you might need quite a bit, like this much. Pea-sized amount you need. That's when it's not spread, it's pea-sized. Keep those as straight as possible so that your painting is nice and neat. Otherwise they go in all directions. So gently like this. And you want it like single cream consistency, or even finer. See for this one. Just want to show you how to clean your brush. You'll just add it to the water like that, and just like that. Do not do, you know, like this on the side, like that. Okay. And when you're painting, you want to paint like this. I'm going to actually show on this painting here. Can I?
Sure.
Like
The
that.
outline first.
Yeah, if you can, just the sides, because then what you can do, then it's easier to fill the centre. Yeah, like that. So you want to paint within your line.
Yeah, that's way too much, but don't worry. Okay. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. Because you have done that one.
I've booked on the silk painting course.
Yes.
Hi, my name's Liz and I've really enjoyed this workshop today. I love learning more about Muslim art and culture. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Van and today I joined the class with Ashfia Ashrif and it was really interesting and relaxing. I enjoyed 2 hours of painting and doing the coloring and it was really amazing time. Thank you MACFEST for this opportunity.
Hello. Did you use a banner?
We can tell you something if you want to know, but...
So I'm Elle, I've been volunteering here for nearly 2 years. I'm a student at the University of Manchester. I do English literature, so it works quite well volunteering at the house because Gaskell's one of my favourite writers.
I'm Annie. I've been volunteering here since I retired, so I'm enjoying it for 2 years now. I thoroughly enjoy being here because I love Elizabeth's work and I love all history, especially the Victorians.
For me it was I love North and South. That's what got me into Elizabeth's writing, and since working at the house I've sort of been able to read different books of hers and sort of like get to know her a little bit more whilst also being in her house where she wrote them, which is just amazing. Yeah, it's just great.
So do you want to add something?
I'm a big fan of the Victorians in history. I love all history, but the Victorians are fascinating because they made so much progress in the time they were here, and Manchester was very important in the time of the Victorians. So it's wonderful to be able to come and handle the objects, and be in the actual place where things happened.
Hello, are you ready to go? Yeah. I'm Eleanor and I'm one of the volunteers here. This is the dining room, as you can see. We've got a dining table here. Also behind you, over here, we've got a table at which Elizabeth would have written at. This was the room where she wrote. As you can see, there's lots of windows, would have been very light by the garden, very nice. It is, however, a very busy room, quite noisy. You would have servants coming in from this door here, lots of noise from the daughters in the drawing room as well. But we've got some items on the table. One is a letter from Charles Dickens, that is over this side. Liz will show you. It's got quite an elaborate signature as well.
Thank you so much.
On the back. Charles published quite a lot of Elizabeth's work. He first became aware of her after she wrote her first book, Mary Barton. After her son had died, she began writing, encouraged by her husband, as a way of kind of getting over her grief. And Charles read this book and was very interested and began publishing her work in periodicals. So they came out a bit at a time in chunks, week by week. And it was a bit of a frosty relationship because Charles very much wanted Elizabeth to write in his way and wanted a cliffhanger at the end of every section, so in each week's story, much in the way like a soap opera is today. And this was not what Elizabeth wanted at all. He also, I think it was a letter, said that if Mrs. Gaskell had been his wife, he would have beat her. So quite a frosty relationship. We've got a few other things on the table as well. There's a letter there from Charlotte Bronte. I'm sure you'll have heard lots about her in the other room. We've also got a manuscript of Elizabeth's last book, Wives and Daughters, which wasn't actually finished by her. She actually died, unfortunately, quite suddenly, in a house down in Hampshire that she just bought, unbeknown to William. He didn't know anything about this. So poor William had the shock of his wife passing away and this house that he didn't know about. But it was her publishers that finished it off for her after she died. But yeah.
Let the rain wash us now and fall softly be open wide and bear the tears that will not dry. Let the clouds disappear, carry the sorrow that we hold so dear. Let our yearning take its time, find its place, we'll be fine. Find its place, we'll be fine. Let the rain wash us now and fall softly on the ground. Let our hearts be open wide and bear the tears that will not dry. Let the clouds disappear, carry the sorrow that we hold so dear.
What was it in my head? My God, Elizabeth has pressed this bell many times. I'm actually pressing that table. It was a real moment for me. And the fact she's our own author from Manchester.
I think a lot of people are kind of finding like new parallels in her work, especially about the treatment of women and like the treatment of other social issues, like how she talks about working class communities and worker-employee relationships.
He died as a baby of scarlet fever, and she was absolutely distraught about this. Mary Barton was published in 1848, and I think her son was born in 1844, so it was that period.